La Florida is just up the road from our base at San Felipe Lodge. La Florida is an amazing place. I don't know if it's the forest location or the way the sets are laid out, but one thing is sure, the birds are here. And not to mention the interesting plants and flowers. We're spending all day here and we'll be busy. Woodpeckers usually don't come to feeding stations, but there's a well-placed hole that seems to attract them. Acorn woodpeckers range from Oregon to Colombia. Subspecies found only in Colombia can be identified by the male's black forehead and the female's lack of a red crown. Speaking of woodpeckers, this diminutive member of the family can only be found in Colombia. It's less than 4 inches long. The fruit eaters are well accommodated here with a flat board for ground feeders. Hanging bananas are for the acrobats, and hollows in the logs for perchers. For us photographers, there are plenty of mossy branches for natural interactions, and some interesting plants for color-coordinated shots. We soon meet some of our old friends, like the shockingly red summer tanager. There's a juvenile male just losing his yellow baby feathers. The blue-gray tanager is always around where there's free bananas. The black-billed thrush has met us at several stops. Likewise, the golden tanager is a reliable participant when bananas are available. The flame-rumped tanager has a taste for bananas too. The green honeycreeper, with their extreme dimorphism, is at La Florida too. This far into this trip, I figured we would not be seeing many new species. Boy, was I wrong. The saffron-crowned tanager is found in the Andean cloud forest from Venezuela to Bolivia. And they're definitely fans of bananas. There seem to be so many similar tanagers with the same size and shape, but different colors. The golden nape tanager has a range slightly smaller than the saffron crown tanager, but still in the same Andean cloud forest. And bananas are always their menu choice. The blue-winged mountain tanager is new to us too. As the name implies, it's a bird of the Andean highlands. But the tanager all the birders come to the Cauca Valley to see is the multicolored tanager. I can imagine that the ornithologist tasked with finding a descriptive name for this bird just gave up and decided to call it multicolored. They are endemic to Colombia. In fact, they're most commonly found here in the Cauca Valley. Males have a yellow mantle across their back. It is really a strikingly beautiful little bird. If the red-headed barbet wasn't the model for the characters in the Angry Birds video game, they should have been. Female red-headed barbet has a totally different color scheme, but looks like she shares the same attitude. They're found from Costa Rica to Peru. The orange-bellied euphonia is another denizen of the feeders. The species is highly dimorphic, the females not being nearly as flashy as their mates. They can be found from Panama to Bolivia. Another new bird for us is the white-naped brushfinch. They're common in Mexico, Central America, and Colombia. The black-winged saltator is a cousin to the tanagers. They are near endemic, being found only in Colombia and Ecuador. We're moving to the woodland set for a new set of birds. The little birds show up first. The rusty-crowned warbler lives on both sides of the Andes from 5,000 to 10,000 feet of elevation. Southern house wren is found throughout South America. But the chestnut wood quail is only found here in Colombia. It's not only birds that are attracted to this feeder, and agouti helps himself. doves like what's on the menu here too. Then all of a sudden, in flies an Andean motmot. At 18 to 19 inches long, these are large birds. The motmot jumps down to the ground and snatches a beetle, which he proceeds to dismember and eat. Very satisfied with himself, he jumps back on his perch. The set has some exotic flowers like this bromeliad and this golden shrimp plant. On the downhill side of the set, a Colombian chachalaca appears. This morning, we woke to the distinctive sound of the chachalaca. As the name implies, the chachalaca is endemic to Colombia and more specifically to the Cauca and Magdalena river valleys. The chachalaca was soon followed by their cousins, the sickle-winged guans. These birds are 20 to 26 inches long and weigh up to 2 pounds. Found from Colombia to Bolivia in cloud forests at middle elevations from 3,600 to 8,200 feet. Our local guide asked us if we were ready for hummingbirds, and we head up through the forest to the hummingbird set. The set is extensive, with 20 or 30 of these syringe-like feeders. The hummingbirds can't perch. They have to eat on the fly. But there are strategically placed natural perches for more photo opportunities. But the best for pictures are the flowers, misted with sugar water to make them irresistible. In short, it's a hummingbird photographer's idea of heaven. Like in the tanagers set, we expected to see all the old friends like the long-tailed silk. We got to see the female here. Another beautiful little bird. We'd seen the bronzy Inca once before. Same goes for the fawn-breasted brilliant. We'd seen the speckled hummingbird at our second stop, Mirador. Only here with the flowers, the pictures are much better. What I wasn't ready for was the number of new hummingbirds we saw here at La Florida. Starting with the sparkling violet ear's less flashy cousin, the brown violet ear. Capturing birds in flight is never easy, but this type of feeder helped a lot. And we could get some nice natural poses on the perches. The in-flight pictures with the flowers were the best. But the over-the-top experience was having the bird perch on your finger and feed. That was amazing. The new-to-us hummingbirds had the most interesting names. The name Andean Emerald suits this little bird well with its emerald green cheeks and neck. It can be found in Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru, most commonly at 3,000 feet or above. The spectacular crowned wood nymph carries on the tradition of naming hummingbirds for mythical forest spirits. The white-necked Jacobin can point to a unique source for its name. European naturalists in the 1800s named the Jacobin hummingbirds after the Jacobin monks, a Dominican order in France. The contrasting colors of the bird's head and neck with the white belly and back reminded them of the robes of the Dominican monks. The steely-vented hummingbird is a testament to how far ornithologists will go to find an identifying feature to name a bird. The steely vent comes from the steel blue color of the undertail covert feathers. In spite of its name, it's a pretty bird. Here we found a cousin to the tiny white-bellied woodstar that we've seen before. The greenish puffleg is named for the white feathers on its legs, hence puffleg. It's found in Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru. They're only 3.5 to 4.5 inches long. Someone's bound to ask, do you have a favorite? The answer is definitely, and it would be the white-booted racquet-tail. The males have 3-inch long outer tail feathers with oval flags or rackets at the end. The female lacks the racquet tail, but shares the white boots with the male. These birds are tiny. The males are less than 6 inches long, and 3 of those inches are tail. They weigh less than 1/10 of an ounce. They're fun to watch, especially on the flowers. They're so small, they have to compete with the bees. Here, 2 males are working the same buddleia flowers. A female is taking a rest. The golden shrimp plant made a great prop for these pictures. The blue flowers on the porterweed are 1/4 to 1/2 inch in diameter. Ordinarily, these fuchsia would not be a nectar source for the racquet-tail with their short bills. But here they've been misted with sugar water, so the racquet-tails are licking the sugar off the petals with their tongues. They can be found in Venezuela, Colombia, and Ecuador. As we're leaving the hummingbird set, our guide tells us that the toucan is at the woodland set. Strictly speaking, it's a toucanet, an aptly named crimson-rumped toucanet. He eyes us warily before tucking into the bananas. This toucanet can be found in Colombia, Venezuela, and Ecuador. The motmot interrupted his lunch to stop by to say goodbye. That wraps up our day at La Florida. It definitely is the forest of the birds.